Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'm going to discuss about the introduction to the solid waste unit. So, in this, we are going to discuss a further discussion about the subtopics are definition of the solid waste, classification of the solid waste, necessity of the solid waste disposal, and safe disposal of the solid waste. So, why? What is the solid waste? Solid waste is nothing but the waste which is not used. Anything that is not used, that is called as a waste. So that waste should be uh, in the form of the raw materials for that. So that can be a raw material can be useful for the um, process to uh, disposed so that it should be useful for further climatic conditions. You can say not affected to the environment, like that we should use the raw materials. So anything that is not for the use in the process, generally it is known as a waste. So that raw material should be in the process, or it should be misplaced resource, so that um, the waste is in a com- comparatively solid form. It is known as a solid waste. So the waste which is a raw materials which is not used, that should be in the solid form, so that it is called as a solid waste. So whatever be the form of a waste, it detroits as it will cause uh, environmental pollution. So it should be if it is disposed directly, it will give offensive smell, offensive manner, you can say. So, so to control those solid waste problems, should uh, efficient in efficient manner. So there it forms a solid waste management. So it's managed solid waste management, where it comes the waste, the solid waste which is not directly put it into the environment. So to to control that, waste management has came. So this management is a part of public health and the sanitation. So it is a part of the public health and sanitation. So our Indian constitution is the responsibility of different states. We have different states, so they will, the municipalities and the differences, they have different municipalities. So the municipality will look after those solid waste. So in the states, various local bodies like municipalities or the municipal corporations are there. So they are the development authorities are to deal with the solid waste management. So the solid waste management which directly deal with the municipalities. So generally the water supply and electricity are on the top priority of the state government, because it's a various reasons, even they are in short supply. So water is most important, at the same time this electricity is also more. As in def in equally nowadays, waste management is also becoming, because it is also creating the environmental pollution. So that then comes the collection, the waste, what how we have to collect the waste management, and how we have to treat that one, and how we have to dispose that one. So the unfortunately the solid waste management comes to that. So wastewater that will be connected in the sanitation, or you can say from the household's kitchen, the water which is coming from the bathrooms are collected into the drains, and that will come into drain water. But the solid waste will not be collected. That should be collected some depart some management should be there, so those the municipality will collect those solid waste. So only a few efforts have we made to create a community. So, awareness about the bad effects of the poor solid waste management are to reduce the generation of the solid waste. So, if we give awareness how it will affect the environment, then the solid waste can be reduced by storage and by throwing out in a systematic way. So if you thrown it directly to the open dump yards, then it will create environment pollution. So that awareness should be given. So because of the poor education system and lack of strong willpower, there is no successful systems of solid waste. Also, solid waste management is also uh, present days uh, is a powerful tool. It become no successful systems no one is giving importance to that one. So there is a practically no penalty for them. So if we keep penalty, if you throw the dust outside, if you throw the garbage outside, if we keep some penalty, so mm, the people will get awareness and they will throw it outside. For example, if we go for other countries, then they will put in the separate dustbins, not in a, you can say it's a container. They will not throw outside on the roads. But in India, we will not follow those instructions. So there should be some penalty so that they will get the awareness of this. Nobody minds and cares in the living such a foul conditions. So when it end in a climatic like the so in the Surat and the Gujarat, there was a disease called plague that was by the rats. So this is somewhat the rats came due to about the vast solid waste. So for that we have to give the awareness for those things. The basic thinking process of the society has broken. So nobody minds in misusing every resource if it is in money wise affordable. So all are thinking about how we will get it and how money like that, but no one is caring about the pollution, how much we are making the polluted the surroundings there, but no one is taking care of. So if we plan in such a manner that there is a thoughtful conception of everything, nothing shall come out as a waste. So we should plan that every waste should be recyclable. Like that, if we plan, then that waste will be useful uh, in a such a way that it can be reused like that. So it will not pollute it. So solid waste management may be defined what it means. It is a control of generation, storage, collection, transfer and transport, processing and disposal of solid waste. So what it is a control of generation. So if you use the uh, generation. The solid waste should not be more. We should be in the control manner. So control of generation, and after getting the waste, it should be storage, and that storage should be collected, and it should be transport, and it should be processed treatment treated, and after that disposal should be done. So in such a manner is called as a solid waste management. So solid waste management, the municipalities look after the storage, collection, transport and the processing also. So the best principle of public health departments, economics, engineers, conservations and other environmental considerations. So all these are the uh, will look after this one. The first objective of the solid waste management is to remove the discarded materials from inhabited places in a timely manner to prevent the spread of diseases. So the solid waste cannot be keep it for many days. So it should be discarded. The material should be discarded timely manner, and so that it prevents the spread of diseases, and to minimize the likelihood of fires and to reduce the aesthetic in cells arising from putrefying organic matter. If you keep like that, the material will get putrefied and it will create a bad smell like that and decomposes like that. So it should be thoroughly disposed or discarded from that place. So the main objective or the main goals of the municipality solid waste is nothing but to protect the environmental and to protect the environment and to protect the quality of the urban environment, and to promote the quality. So they have to promote the quality also, and to support the efficiency and productivity of the economy, and to generate the employment and income. So how they will affect to the income if the high standard people and the low standard people, middle standard people are there, different incomes are there, so different uh, localities will generate the different waste. So it depends upon their environment, they will uh, de- generate different types of waste. So those waste uh, uh, should be taken off to generate for that employment also, to remove those things we can create the employment also, to take for the municipality thing, if we employment for removing the things we can generate the employment, and we can if we clean the environment, we can efficiency productivity also increases. So industrial areas are there, if we clean it thoroughly, so that we can increase our the economic basis also. So next topic is going to classification of the solid waste. So different types are there. So different types of solid waste, around 12 classifications are there. So first classification is rubbish. So it is generally term applied to the solid waste originating in households. So this rubbish will generate from the households, a commercial, okay, and excluding the garbage and the ash. So garbage means nothing but the in the kitchens, vegetables, vegetable peels, or in the kitchen whatever the necessary things are there, those are considered as a garbage. And in the ash, nothing but the if you use any firing there, the ash will be there, so that will ash and the garbage is considered as a rubbish. So generally households and the commercial establishments will have this rubbish. So ash is nothing but wood. Uh, this will come from the mines, you can say, or where the industries are there. So come from wood, coal, and other combustible matter. So for cooking, so ash consists of fine powder residue, cinders, and so ash it will be useful for the fly ash bricks also. If we want to recycle it, ash can be used in a correct manner, then it will be used. Or if we thrown it like that, it will create the dust pollution. So for that we have to see how can be reuseful those things. So it can be useful for the cement also, we can use in the cement for the cement preparation. So when it is produced from the thermal power plants, it is used for the power generation also. So they are known as the industrial waste. So ash is the fine powder residue. So bulky waste, Bulky waste are large households, okay, that can be accommodated in the normal storage containers. So bulky waste is nothing but four or five families are living together. Large waste will become, so that should be stored in the containers so of the household, and thus requires special collection. So actually in India there is a hardly any waste collected in the category as it's sold to the kaberas. So the waste which was collected in India, they will be sold it. And waste plastic are there, waste glasses, glass materials, waste. So they will be sold at some places, just like you can say kaberas. Bulky waste will be collected like that. So next comes to street sweepings. Street sweepings, the waste collected from the street. So in the streets, we have the municipalities generally in the morning times they will sweep the streets. So the walk areas and the parks. So that the street sweeping should be collect. Should be there so that the developing countries like our country manually street sweepings is done, and it makes the largest portion of the municipal solid waste as we are in the habit of throwing everything on the streets. So we will not throw in a dustbin, so we will throw it as it is. So it should be collected so that the street sweepers are there, so they will remove all those dust and dirt, and major plastic bags will be there, dry leaves, useless papers, cardboards. These are generally on the streets. Tires, so vegetable matters. So in our country, most of the usable portions of the waste like rags, papers, thick plastic bags, plastic utensils, any form of metal is collected by the rag pickers. So they will collect in a one container just called as a rag. So they will collect the paper is also recyclable and the plastic also recyclable. So those will be again sent it to the recyclable things. So the tires also recyclable. So those collected and send it to the recycling things. So the organic matter, including the paper and even plastic sheets, is consumed by the cows and others. If we left like that, so they will be consumed by the other animals, which they will get affected. So that will be removed as early as possible. That is why calorific value of India solid waste is far less in compared to the other countries. So the waste disposal, we don't follow the instructions. So we waste generation is more comparative to the other countries. So next comes to dead animals. This term includes the dead animals that die naturally or by accident on the roads. So it does not include the animal parts, okay, and which are regarded as the industrial waste. So these are two types of dead animals, large and small. So the smaller animals are called dog, cats, rabbits, etc. They are consumed by the other animals or can be easily lifted and disposed. The larger ones, cow require special and immediate attention as traffic is affected and they can emit a foul smell. So if we left like that in the areas where the animals are died, so it will create the foul smell. So the immediately that was be taken over from that one. So these also cause the environmental risk. Next comes to construction and the demolition. Construction construction and the demolition. These are waste generated by the residue of the construction, refreshment, refurnishment, repair, and demolition of houses. So the waste, the generally construction, we have the different materials we use. So in construction, we get the repairs and the demolitions, commercial buildings and other structures. So any demolitions or any repairs are there, the materials will be have to be taken and it should be reused. Generally, the demolition waste is used by the contractors in filling of the low-lying areas. So, if it is, rather than the steel, the concrete should be decomposed or suppressed for low-lying areas till the plinth filling areas. So, if you are constructing the new house, that demolished materials are there that can be dumped in that low-lying areas, and we can increase the height of the plinth. So, even then, some quantity of sand, stone, or concrete may be left. So, after at the time of the construction, we will left some sand and stone like that at the surroundings. We will not clean them. So, the sand and the major the sand will create more pollution compared to the stone. Then. So, next comes to industrial waste. So industrial waste, that this discard solid material manufacturing process and industrial operations come in this category. There is a vast range of substance that are unique for each industry. So different industries produce different types of waste. Weather industry, plastic industry, and glass industry, food industries, different types of waste will be manufactured from the different industries. So they should be categorized and there will be a vast range of substance will be get. So that should be for each industry, so they are considered separately for municipal, so from municipal waste. So they are unique and that are connected to the municipalities. Next comes to hazardous waste. So these are coming from the physical and the chemical properties. Hazardous means the toxic materials. So those are coming from the industries. So institutional or consumer origin, that because of the physical and chemical or biological characters are potential dangerous to human beings. So the if we store the waste for a few days, so it will the waste will be solid waste will be uh, get changed. It's a physical and chemical properties. So if the chemical and physical properties have changed, it means some of the materials cause the hazardness. So for example, if we left the paint like that having some chemicals, it will create the hazardous. So, in some cases, the active agents may be liquid or gaseous. They are classified as solid waste because they are confined in the solid containers. So, solvent, paints, and pesticides whose spent containers are frequently mixed with the municipal waste and become part of the urban waste system. So, like that, the poisonous thing, if we keep stored for many for a time, they will create it. So certain hazardness will be, waste can explode in the incinerators. So those are to be stored in the controlled large kilns. So they will should not uh, throw it outside. So it should be collected in one container and should be stored in large containers. So in cars, so it will cause, if we not protected, it will cause the fires and also landfills. So such as pathological waste from the hospitals and radio waste. So they should also handled at all times. So proper management should be taken care of this one. Collected, stored, transport, and disposed of separately. So those should be disposed in a separate containers. So harmful things, toxics. So those are the hazards. Next comes to sewage. The solid byproducts of sewage treatment are classified as sewage waste. They are mostly organic produced treatment of organic sludge. So they are the solid protected of uh, solid waste. Sewage waste generally from the bathrooms comes, and from the sewage organic produce that are from the treatment of organic sludge, both raw and treated sewage. So they might be of organic and inorganic fractions, such as grit is separated. So for the sewage, they have different treatment plants. We have sedimentations and sedimentation process, sludge disposals. So different processes are there for the disposals and for collecting the sewage. So those because of its entrance beneficial organic matter, they may contain diseases producing bacteria. So they should be buried. We can generally in sewage waste we will use the uh, sanitation septic tanks like that. We will use it. Domestic residential waste. This type of waste is originated from the single or multi-family house units. These wastes are generated from the household's activities such as cooking. So in the residuals also we have seen the waste which are coming from the ash and the garbage. So the garbage also one part of this one domestic. So from the domestic only those come. So all ash cleaning dust, repairs, cooking, all will come from. This is from also the considered as a residual. Mm, uh, Empty containers, used packets, old clothes, books, all broken glasses, all this will come from the residential items. So next comes to municipality waste. So municipal also includes some resulting from the municipal activities and service, such as the street sweepings, dead animals, market waste. So in the market yards also we have different vegetables are there. So in the market waste and abandoned vehicles which are not useful, those also generally the term municipal waste is used for the wider sense in cooperative domestic waste, institutional waste. So municipality waste means nothing but which are not in use vehicles and dead animals. Those will be collected by the municipal waste, and those are considered the animals which are died on the street, and the waste which was at the market yard and markets. So those are considered as a municipal waste. Commercial waste. This categorized This categorized includes all solid waste that originates from the office, wholesale and retail markets, restaurants, hotels, warehouses, and other commercial establishments. So the waste which is coming from the office and the retail markets, restaurants, and the godams. So those all are considered as a commercial waste. Next comes to institutional waste. So institutional in the universities and the schools, we will throw some papers and we will have some uh, waste covers. So and mostly the chalk dust you can say and dust okay, and research institutes, majorly in the hospitals and the research institute. So hospitals we will get hazardous, more bad, offensive, strong disease producer. So generally from the hospitals we will get more hazardous uh, waste. So more danger waste. waste, sanitation, uh, s- uh, cottons or syringe or a lot of waste will become bad. You can say injections or bad syringes. So they will all those are considered as a hospitality waste. Garbage is nothing but the uh, applied to the animal at the vegetable waste. The waste which is produced from the animals and the vegetables are considered as a garbage. So that will be storage, sale, preparation for the cooking. So the vegetables and the animal waste will be stored and it will be sold. So this can be so that it can be putrescible and it will create and it easily decomposed. Okay, the easily decomposed organic matter. So this attracts rats, flies and mosquitoes. So immediately it should also remove. It should not be placed directly. It should also store it someplace and collected, and we have to we can sell those, and we can do the vermicomposting by all those. If it is animal cow dung is there, we can use for the biogas productions. Like that, the recycling should be there, not it should be wasted like that. So about all these classifications. So next comes to necessity of the solid waste. So why solid waste? So till now we have seen the solid introduction to the solid waste and comes to classifications. So in solid waste, introduction is nothing but we have planning. Proper planning should be there for the segregation and the collection and further transportation. So that will be looked after by the municipalities. Different local bodies are there in the different states. So those will be looked after that. Once for that purpose, we are studying about the solid waste management. After that one, classifications are there. So different classifications are there. So different waste have divided into different categorized, so that they will not get mixed into one. And if it is considered into one, then it will have some physical and chemical changes will be occurring. So that way they should be segregated. So for that purpose, we have classified. Next comes to necessity. Why it is required? Solid waste disposal. So, planning the solid waste management and recycling of all rubbish produced in the country is an enormous task which involves both the planning and scientific knowledge. So, planning the waste management at present and recycling is also important. So, in the country, it is becomes a big task. So, in order to balance the impact of the environment, the cost effectiveness also should be considered. So, it should be controlled way and also cost should be considered. So waste collection and rubbish disposal play an extremely important role in the global cleanliness and sustainability drive with the people's health and the conservations of resources. So it's a response. So the task was taken by the government. So the collection and the disposal is the main thing. So that the government should be balanced with the cost effectiveness in the controlled way. So is to ease the pressure on the government ages. So and numerous privately managed organizations are came to play a part in this waste management. So, some people will get if you thrown if you thrown out or keep in the house with unwanted plastic, broken waste will be there. Broken plastic waste, broken chairs, broken glass, like that. If we stored like that, some people will take those things in the you can say in the municipalities only. Some people will gather those things and they will put it in the uh, recycling. So they will segregate and they will use like here here this. like this. The waste will be taken and it will be segregated. Glasses like this, plastic will be, and the paper and the ash and the concrete like this, they will be segregated and they will dispose. So some for that some private organizations came to take all those. Have become a part of this one waste management, so they will get money at the same time. So, in many cities, it means that local government agencies have been left with the responsibility of overseeing the work done by these privately. So, in many cities, this is transportation like this we have to do. The local government, it is not exposed and it will not create any type of pollution here to the surroundings also. So, it should be closed. So in the modern cities, burying and of all rubbish is not a sustainable solution. So in the previous, what they are used to do, all the waste will be buried at one place, and mm, that will be dumped at the low-lying areas. That create now afterwards they created a soil capacity. Afterwards, it created a soil problem. So, for that, at present, we are not burying the rubbish. So, while permitting humans produce a very little waste, they they are used to little waste only. Nowadays, we are using a number of. So, we are producing a more waste compared to the earlier days. So modern humans produce much larger amounts of waste, much of which is not biodegradable. For example, plastic will not is the biodegradable, and the glass is also not biodegradable. Like that, we are using many things which are not biodegradable. So for that, we are damaging the soil, groundwater also. So the most important reason for waste collection to protect the environment. So for that, uh, the solid waste have came. So main is to protect the environment. So how to collect that one and how to dispose is the major target to them. So waste collection companies also sorted the garbage into recyclable, and the products that leave our homes is our utmost importance. So, recycling not only helps in conserving our natural resources but also reduce the cost of production of many products. For example, if we use the plastic which is recyclable, that can be used in number of. So by taking the waste only, we are getting the other plastic materials. So like that, with the reducing the product cost also. So oil, plastic, paper, and recycle, which will ultimately put less pressure on the natural resources used to manufacture. Lastly, waste management and recycling collections can help conserve a planet's natural beauty and senseless littering also. Littering is nothing but the, you can say, the from waste some water will be disposed, so that the water will not also pollute the surroundings. So sorry, littering is nothing but the waste which is coming from the plants, so that can also come less. So it's a natural beauty. For if we control the waste management, then future generation also have good future well, and they will also enjoy the natural resources by doing present benefit of this. So like this, we will be segregating. So who live in areas where waste collection and recycling is not managed effectively and responsibly. So like if we dump like this, they will all these get like this. Here the waste all are dumped like this. So it will pollute the surroundings. So there are many challenges facing the waste management and recycling, but there is a lot of excellent work going on. to ensure the industry and that will continue to secure the effective and sustainable and ecological sound waste. So recycling for many years to come. So this is nowadays they are getting a facing a task management to them. So to achieve the above goals, it is necessary to establish a sustainable system of solid waste management. The principle of sustainability is nothing but to minimize the waste generation and maximize the waste recycling and reuse. So, first, waste should be minimized and it should be recycled. Then only the environment is in the safe zone. Ensure safe and environmental. So next comes to here we have studied about the three subtopics. First comes to introduction, next comes to classification, and third comes to the need. Next, last comes to safe disposal of the solid waste. So the use and throw concept is one of the main reasons for the accumulation of the waste. So we generally what the things we are using, if it is not used means we will think about the throwing of such things. So use and throw is the concept for the safe disposal is there. And so accumulate of the world has people have to tendency to discard the things after using them. So landfills are the major breeding places for all kinds of insects and rodents, which increase the chances of spreading of various diseases. So if you throw the waste in the open dump yards, it has creating the major breeding places that will create the spreading of our diseases. So lots of nowadays we are getting the dengue, typhoid, are all these. If we go for the cholera, that is contaminated with the water. So the waste which was dumped on the open air that has polluted the groundwater also. So like that, different types of the pollutions are created. Although many measures have been taken in the past several decades, the main problem is to scale of waste accumulation. So it's a reaches heights because of the growth in the population and the industrialization. So several decades we have trying to reduce the waste, but it is reaching uh, more by more. The growth is increasing, the waste management is increasing because of population is increasing. At the same time, industrialization also increasing. So both are getting both are getting more growth. So that's why it's becoming a challenge, global issue, how to resolve the thing. So the best method of safe disposals are segregations and the composting. So after get segregating, it should be um, either recyclable or composting. So after segregating the waste and separating materials for reuse and recycling. So if it is reuse, we have to think. It is not, then we have to compost the materials. So the waste material should be disposed of and care should be taken. The does not pollute the area, groundwater, surface, and water. So when we are not using the the waste should be uh, segregate. First of all, we have to segregate it. Okay, after getting collected, and it should be disposed at one place. After disposing, it should be segregated. If after segregating, we have to think about the composting. Composting comes when after separating the reuse and the recyclable things. If it is reuse and recyclable things are separated, then other waste, just like food waste, okay, those can be composited. So the composite animal waste, food waste, those can be composited. So by that we can reduce the air pollution of the air and the groundwater. So various types of segregating: glass, metals, paper, cloth, and each type is handled separately by reusing it. So those are reused. Recycling it or disposing of it any other accepted waste disposal method. So it should be taken permission and it should be reused or recycled. It should be the duty of each household to segregate domestic waste into different bins. So dry waste and the wet waste, like that we have to separate it, and that waste is thrown in the different dustbins also. Like that in the house itself, if we maintain like that, we can segregate from the bottommost. And you can say biodegradable that can convert into useful products like compost. Yes, like that we can say. Next, compositing of the waste is an compositing is nothing but the aerobic method. Anaerobic method and aerobic methods both are same. Aerobic method is nothing but the presence of the oxygen there, and anaerobic method is the absence of the oxygen. So it is exposed to the sun. So aerobic method of decomposing of the solid waste, the process involves the decomposition of the organic matter into humus. So the if it forms humus, that will be useful for the plants, okay, which is good fertilizers for the plants. The compositing process produces the carbon dioxide and the heat. So when it is changing the organic waste, so into organic waste, they produce the CO2 and the heat. So the organic and the biodegradable waste is made to undergo the decomposition in such a way that bacteria and other microorganizations break them down and produce a safe, clean, and so in this we can use the two methods are there: Bangalore indoor method and Bangalore indoor method is generally preferable. Next comes to uh, in this landfilling methods are there. So how to disposal. So in the disposal, first land filling methods. So land filling methods, we have to select the site, and we have to fill land filling methods and operations are there in next coming chapters it is there. So in that if it is there it will landfill methods are there, it will create the gases in that one. So gases in the litter is nothing but the solid, if we go so from the solid getting decomposed, the water get percolated to that one. So the you can say bad water it is coming. So movement and the control of the gas is also there. So in this we have seen only the landfilling method only. Installations and the burning all different methods are there in the solid waste disposals. In next coming up chapters it is there. So in this we have studied about the uh, we covered the definitions of the solid waste, we have covered the classification of the solid waste, and we have covered the necessity of the solid waste and also safe disposals. So these are the different types we have covered. So here the summary. So such management uh, is costly, and potential dangerous if faulty. So correctly, if it is not taken and if it is not correctly disposed, then it will be get polluted. So thus a safer and more sustainable approach may be minimizing the number of landfills also. If we take it the if we not dumped to the surroundings, and if it is taken to the areas where we have to segregate and where we have to recycle, then it will get sustainability. So number of landfills constructed and ensuring their longevity, so has to continue taking the viable land for waste disposal. So so by taking the land for the disposal also, it is costly. So it is therefore too critical to divert the waste from the landfills and through the reduction. So how we will reduce the cost by taking the lands means by reduction and the recycling the waste. So this is about this one. Thank you.